Run. Verb. 1. Heading, vertebrates, to move swiftly. 2. Heading, fluids, to flow. 3. Nautical, of a vessel, to sail before the wind, in distinction from reaching or sailing close-hauled. 4. Heading, social, to carry out an activity. 5. Heading, to extend or persist, statically or dynamically, through space or time. 6. Transitive, to execute or carry out a plan, procedure, or program. For example, they ran 20 blood tests on me and they still don't know what's wrong. Our coach had us running plays for the whole practice. I will run a sample. Don't run that software unless you have permission. My computer is too old to run the new OS. 7. To pass or go quickly in thought or conversation. For example, to run from one subject to another. 8. Copulative, to become different in a way mentioned, usually to become worse. For example, our supplies are running low. They frequently overspent and soon ran into debt. 9. Transitive, to cost a large amount of money. For example, buying a new laptop will run you $1,000. Laptops run about $1,000 a piece. 10. Intransitive, of stitches or stitched clothing, to unravel. For example, my stocking is running. 11. To pursue in thought, to carry in contemplation. 12. To cause to enter, to thrust. For example, to run a sword into or through the body, to run a nail into one's foot. 13. To drive or force, to cause, or permit, to be driven. 14. To cause to be drawn, to mark out, to indicate, to determine. For example, to run a line. 15. To encounter or incur a danger or risk. For example, to run the risk of losing one's life. 16. To put at hazard, to venture, to risk. 17. To tease with sarcasms and ridicule. 18. To sew a seam, by passing the needle through material in a continuous line, generally taking a series of stitches on the needle at the same time. 19. To control or have precedence in a card game. For example, every 3 or 4 hands he would run the table. 20. To be informed thus, as a combination of words. 21. Archaic, to be popularly known, to be generally received. 22. To have growth or development. For example, boys and girls run up rapidly. 23. To tend, as to an effect or consequence, to incline. 24. To have a legal course, to be attached, to continue in force, effect, or operation, to follow, to go in company. For example, certain covenants run with the land. 25. Golf, to strike the ball in such a way as to cause it to run along the ground, as when approaching a hole. Run. Noun. 1. Act or instance of running, of moving rapidly using the feet. For example, I just got back from my morning run. 2. Act or instance of hurrying to or from a place, not necessarily by foot, dash or errand, trip. 3. A pleasure trip. For example, let's go for a run in the car. 4. Flight, instance or period of fleeing. 5. Migration, of fish. 6. A group of fish that migrate, or ascend a river for the purpose of spawning. 7. Skiing, bobsledding, a single trip down a hill, as in skiing and bobsledding. 8. A regular trip or route. For example, the bus on the Cherry Street run is always crowded. 9. The route taken while running or skiing. For example, which run did you do today? 10. The distance sailed by a ship. For example, a good run, a run of 50 miles. 11. A voyage. For example, a run to China. 12. An enclosure for an animal, a track or path along which something can travel. For example, he set up a rabbit run. 13. Australia, New Zealand, rural landholding for farming, usually for running sheep, and operated by a run holder. 14. State of being current, currency, popularity. 15. A continuous period of time, marked by a trend, a period marked by a continuing trend. For example, I'm having a run of bad luck. 16. Card games, a sequence of cards in a suit in a card game. 17. Music, a rapid passage in music, especially along a scale. 18. A trial of an experiment. For example, the data got lost, so I'll have to perform another run of the experiment. 19. A flow of liquid, a leak. For example, the constant run of water from the faucet annoys me. 20. U.S. dialect, a small creek or part thereof. For example, the military campaign near that creek was known as the Battle of Bull Run. 21. The amount of something made. For example, the book's initial press run will be 5,000 copies. 22. A production quantity in a factory. For example, yesterday we did a run of 12,000 units. 23. The length of a showing of a play, film, TV series, etc. For example, the run of the show lasted 2 weeks, and we sold out every night. 24. A quick pace, faster than a walk. For example, he broke into a run. 25. A sudden series of demands on a bank or other financial institution, especially characterized by great withdrawals. For example, financial insecurity led to a run on the banks, as customers feared for the security of their savings. 26. Any sudden large demand for something. For example, there was a run on Christmas presents. 27. The top of a step on a staircase, also called a tread, as opposed to the rise. 28. The horizontal length of a set of stairs. 29. A standard or unexceptional group or category. For example, he stood out from the usual run of applicants. 30. Baseball, a score, point scored, by a runner making it around all the bases and over home plate. 31. Cricket, a point scored. 32. American football, a gain of a specified distance, a running play. For example, one of the greatest runs of all time. 33. Can we clean up plus this sense? Unrestricted use of an area. For example, he can have the run of the house. 34. A line of knit stitches that have unraveled, particularly in a nylon stocking. For example, I have a run in my stocking. 35. Nautical, the stern of the underwater body of a ship from where it begins to curve upward and inward. 36. Construction, horizontal dimension of a slope. 37. Mining, the horizontal distance to which a drift may be carried, either by license of the proprietor of a mine or by the nature of the formation, also, the direction which a vein of ore or other substance takes. 38. A pair or set of millstones. 39. Video games, a playthrough. For example, This was my first successful run without losing any health. 40. Slang. This term needs a definition. Please help out and add the definition, then remove the text, ref. 41. Golf. The movement communicated to a golf ball by running it. 42. Golf. The distance a ball travels after touching the ground from a stroke. Run. Adjective. 1. In a liquid state, melted or molten. For example, put some run butter on the vegetables. 2. Cast in a mold. 3. Exhausted, depleted, especially with down or out. 4. Of a fish, traveled, migrated, having made a migration or a spawning run.